On the morning of August 22, 1986, a man hopped onto his bicycle to ride through a quiet, beautiful valley in Cameroon, West Africa. As he pedaled into the village of Nyos, he noticed something strange. The morning air was dead silent. No birds were singing. No insects were buzzing. Then, he saw the cattle. Hundreds of cows lay scattered across the fields, completely lifeless. Panic setting in, he rushed into the village to find help. But as he pushed open the doors to the mud brick homes, absolute horror struck. Whole families were slumped over in their beds, at their kitchen tables, and on their doorsteps. Over 1,700 people had died in their sleep. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, and no wounds. It was as if an invisible Grim Reaper had swept through the valley and stolen every living soul in a single breath. What happened that night remains one of the most terrifying, bizarre, and real natural disasters in human history. When news of the tragedy reached the outside world, global panic erupted. Was it a secret biological weapons test? A new, fast-acting airborne plague? Medical teams and scientists from around the world rushed to the remote valley, terrified of what they might find. But when they arrived, the clues only made the mystery deeper. The bodies showed no signs of disease or chemical poisoning. Even weirder, the natural environment looked completely untouched, except for one thing. High above the valley sat Lake Nyos, a beautiful, deep body of water nestled inside an ancient volcanic crater. Before that night, the lake had been a stunning, crystal clear blue. Now, it was a murky, deep, apocalyptic red. It took weeks of intense testing for scientists to finally piece together the terrifying truth. The killer hadn't come from a lab or a weapon. It had come from the bottom of the lake itself. Lake Nyos is no ordinary lake, it rests directly on top of a pocket of volcanic magma. For centuries, carbon dioxide gas had been leaking from deep inside the earth, filtering up through the lake bed. In most volcanic lakes around the world, the water turns over naturally, allowing gases to escape harmlessly into the air. But Lake Nyos was uniquely deep, still, and tropical. The heavy, cold water at the bottom acted like a giant, pressurized cork, trapping millions of tons of carbon dioxide at the floor of the lake. It was, quite literally, a massive, unpopped bottle of volcanic soda. And then, something triggered it. To this day, scientists aren't entirely sure if it was a tiny earthquake, a minor underwater landslide, or just a heavy rainstorm. But on the night of August 21st, the cork popped. What followed was an event called a limnic eruption, a phenomenon so rare that science had barely ever recorded it. A massive column of water shot over 300 feet into the air, creating a tsunami that stripped trees from the shoreline. But the real danger was what came out of the water. Over 1.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide burst out of the lake in a silent, violent explosion. Because carbon dioxide is much heavier than regular air, it didn't rise into the atmosphere. Instead, it formed a massive, invisible blanket of gas, nearly 300 feet thick, and spilled over the rim of the volcano. It rushed down the mountainside at over 40 miles per hour, pouring into the valley below. As it flooded the villages, it instantly choked out all the oxygen. If you were awake, you would have suddenly felt a suffocating warmth before losing consciousness. If you were asleep, you simply never woke up. The gas cloud traveled for nearly 15 miles, extinguishing cooking fires, suffocating livestock, birds, insects, and humans alike. Only a tiny handful of people survived, mostly because they managed to run to higher ground where the heavy gas couldn't reach, or because they happened to be in a rare pocket of trapped oxygen. When they woke up the next morning, they found themselves in a graveyard of absolute silence. Today, scientists have installed massive, high-tech piping systems at the bottom of Lake Nyos to slowly and safely pump the carbon dioxide out, ensuring the lake can never bottle up that deadly pressure again. But the chilling reality is that Lake Nyos isn't the only time bomb on Earth. An even larger lake, Lake Kivu in East Africa, is holding over 1,000 times more gas, with millions of people living right on its shores. It's a powerful reminder that the earth beneath our feet holds secrets far more dangerous than anything we could ever invent. If a silent disaster like this happened today, do you think modern technology could warn us in time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring the darkest, most mind-blowing mysteries of history and science, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have a lot more incredible, true documentaries coming your way. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next file.